It's a little chilly. It's not even, oh, I want to think about this for a second. Is it 30? If it's in the 30s, it's in the low 30s. But if I remember correctly, it's more like 28. A little bit of wind. Enough wind to make it chilly. We're at State Park close by to my house. I'm going to walk into the wind, so hopefully you'll be able to hear me. Oh, let me get you fixed up here. There we go. I'm at a state park that's really close to me. I tell you the name, but I really don't like revealing exactly where I live. But they're putting in a new bike trail, or a new portion. This is the bike trail right here. And they've been working on it since last fall, but talking about it for a while. So we're going to walk up here. I already got a sneak peek as I drove in. I'm the only one here, as far as I know. There were no other vehicles where I parked, and there was no other vehicles in any other parking on the way in. I've been working on the van, getting it ready for camping. Been doing the sound deadening and the insulation right now. It's not a really old van. It's a 2006 Ford E350. I mean, it's old enough, but only has 190 on it, which may sound like a lot, but around here that's not that much. I got it pretty cheap. Well, I should say I got it at a good price, not pretty cheap. Fair for the both of us. But I come over here a lot. I don't camp here. It's just too crowded. Too small for the amount of people that come here. In the summertime, anyway. I say that and there's nobody here right now. Kind of surprises me, though, truthfully. Usually there's always somebody here besides me. You can hear the ice. I don't know if you heard that, but I did. That water's crystal clear. We're gonna walk down there. Just up there a little ways is where the new section begins. But let's go down here and look at this. Oh, they got it fenced off. We can't do it. Crap. But that water down there, it's like crystal clear. Super ice cold too, I bet. Okay, well, since we can't go down there, which may be a good thing. Now they're trying to tell me you'll lose your camera. Ooh, the wind's in my back. Oh, it's a little slippery right here. The sun melted it enough throughout the day. It's about 2. No, it's about 3. My 2:30 alarm went off on the way here. I don't know why I brought the hiking poles. I thought I was going to get into mud and slick stuff, but it's actually a really comfortable hike. We're not really going all that far. I noticed the construction guys were working when I pulled up in here. This building that we're going to come up on, so as we round this corner and get up on the hill a little bit, is all brand new. I was never there. These deer tracks are so cool. You won't believe the amount of deer that are in this park. In the fall, people come here just for that. You can walk around here and see them all day long. But, okay, so basically, from right there, where those sticks, on the other side of these canoes, we used to have to go out. Here, maybe you need to come down a little more. For the old bike trail, right where those sticks are right there, we used to have to come out right alongside those canoes and go out onto that road. And that's where the bike trail started. All this right here is brand new now. This is going to be fun. A lot of big deer tracks here. Crazy. This place is getting bigger and bigger every year. I remember 15, 20 years ago, you come out here and it was wooded everywhere. So many deer trails to hike. Like all this right here was all woods. It was cool. But more and more people kept coming and wandering off into the woods. So they had to do something. So they used more woods. Woo! We're getting up on the top where it's going to be windy, so get ready. I mean, you can tell just by looking at the amount of tracks, deer tracks alone. There's raccoon, there's birds, there's all kinds of tracks in here that you probably can't see, but just the deer tracks alone, you can see the disturbance that putting this new trail in has caused. Yeah. Luckily, they didn't make it go that way. They very well could have. And it wouldn't have mattered because that is actually a trail. It's an access trail. Not a lot of people use it. But you can get up to, goes up and around and goes to the top up there and connects into an actual trail. But people never used it because they couldn't get to it. But now obviously they can. So that will get used a lot more. But I used to sit up there in the fall years ago and just sit there with my 35 millimeter with a big long 205 and just sit there all day long and take pictures of deer walking by me. That whole oak flat all the way across the top is nothing but big deer. Well, you can see all these tracks come from those deer up there. But it was a sanctuary. They'd get up in there and, all summer long people wouldn't get up there because really they considered it out of the park. I mean, the mosquitoes, because the swamp and the river is right there that we just crossed a little bit ago, it spreads away out and becomes a slow-moving river. But it ties into another lake right on the other side, so that's what slows it up. Anyway, let's continue on with my rambling. I can't wait till it gets 40 degrees at night. I don't even care if it's only 45 during the day, as long as it's sunny and stays in the 40s at night. Because then I'll do in a lot more hiking. Get my fat ass out there and burn off some donuts. I ate 2 of those goddamn things for lunch today. What the hell is wrong with me? Unbelievable. Okay, this building here is all brand new. There used to be just like a little hut here that you could rent bicycles and the canoes, the kayaks, anything that deals with the water, you could rent them. But now it's a much better looking building. Probably going to have a game warden office here. That would be my guess. They need one here. A lot of people here in the summertime. But it's worth coming here. Alright, I'll tell you where it is. This is Glendalough State Park. Just outside of Battle Lake. Just north of Battle Lake. I mean, literally just north. The bike trail goes right into Battle Lake. That's how close it is. But it's worth coming here to rent bikes, and they even have the 4-wheel pedal carts that you can have 2 couples on and ride the bike trail. This part here isn't paved yet, but it probably will be coming springtime. I'm sure of that. It's ready. Looks to me it's ready anyway. They might have to roll it one more time. This section right here used to be all these pine trees. Used to be this thick all the way out to the road, which is way over there on the other side of that dirt pile. It used to be this thick everywhere through here. Other than up on that ridge that I was talking about. When I used to sit up there, I used to come across that ridge. You can kind of see it right there where it opens up again. This comes down, and I'll show you actually, because we're going to turn around down there. But it comes back down into this, and I used to come from up there. I used to come down here and sit in the evenings, because I know they'd come through here in the evenings. And the reason why I'm stopping and going, because I took a picture of a buck. All my buddies were just in awe over this buck, or the rack. Let's put it that way. The buck itself was just giant, but his rack was so perfectly symmetrical, including the brow tines, both of them screwed exactly the same. like a Impala. The two tines over the eyes, they both screwed the same way, exact same way. It blew my mind. Yeah, I got the most perfect picture of them, and it's a huge rack. All the tines were really, really tall. One of my favorite pictures. Well, you can kind of see how it goes down, slopes down into there now. Well, all this that you're walking on, right there's the road, but all this that we're walking on was all pine trees, really thick. Over the years, they've just been falling down, and you can see how in nature they just thinned out. But yeah, over the years. But you can also see all the deer tracks on this road. The deer will never not use this park because it's a sanctuary. Oddly enough, it used to be a game farm. You used to be able to come here to hunt them. And back in the 50s, some of the hiking trails has some of the history about that posted on some of the storyboards along the trails here and there. But I learned that years ago. That's what got me intrigued on coming over here, because I was kind of hoping that there was some land around it that was still huntable. But this is wall-to-wall border private property and it's farm, so you couldn't even hunt around this. This is unbelievable. All these deer tracks are fresh, like last night and this morning. There's still little balls of dirt where they kicked it up. Every one of them. A lot of deer in here. I wonder what's going on there. I wonder with all the... Anybody a plumber? Is that septic? I mean, are they going to be putting in some buildings here? Wouldn't it be cool to have a campsite here? I don't know. That can't be campsite. That's one on top of another. I don't know what's going on there. There's a whole shitload of them though, whatever it is. Huh. I'm not a construction guy, but they go way back. I mean, they go way back there in the tree line, way back in there. Whatever these are. It's maybe something for the future. I don't know, but there's not much of an access to it. I mean, from the road, there's a huge drop-off right there. Boom. All through here, there's just a big ditch. So you gotta come down here a ways to get some access to it. But there is a lot of gravel. Well, you know, we're here. Let's go take a look. Yeah, there's a lot of stone in here, like they laid it down for transportation reasons. Huh, interesting. They're all laid out in a pattern. There's what, 3 there. And 1, 2, 3, 4 here. A whole bunch right there in the middle. I don't know what's going on. Oh wait, there's 5 here. There's 3 there and 2 here. Okay. And there's what? 5, 6, 7 right there in the middle. Interesting. And this isn't tore up like it was dug up. There's still pine needles and stuff. You can see where they drove through here. But, huh. Cool. Whatever. Carry on. This is why I need to learn the trades, or needed to. Too late now. I could learn it from my own interest, I guess. I wouldn't learn it as a skill. I'm a 60-year-old man. Who the hell's gonna hire me? Spent too much time in the arts. Or spent all my time in the arts. Not too much time, like I'm complaining about it. Alright, enough about me. This is where I started my other video about the new bike trail. I didn't see, that used to be the bike trail. This road right here, where it winds and goes on out through. That used to be the bike trail. That's the campsite over there. It's walk-in access. There's a couple of cabins over there that are kind of cool. You can bunk up, I think, 4 people in them. This is the famous Sunset Lake. When that sun goes down, it goes down right over this lake. Perfect. You get some awesome sunset shots. So I'm looking forward to riding this new trail. I'm hoping to get over here before they pave it. I wouldn't do it right now it'd be alright because it's mostly froze underneath. You're only sinking down about 1.5 inches and then it's froze. It is winter. It's January or February. So even though it doesn't look like it. It's pretty cold out here. Alright, well I'm not going to walk all the way down there because if you want to see the rest of this trail, just go down where in my video collection where it says new bike trail and a new state park or a new bike trail and state park or something like that it says. Anyway, let's walk this back. The wind won't be so bad this way. Kind of strategically parked the van out of the wind. Really looking forward to getting that van insulated. I pretty much have everything to go camping. Oh, I mean, I do. But I want to get a new bed. Last year I used a air mattress. And the first one popped because I didn't have all the metal done in my van. And just me moving around at night. Some of the old bolt holes up through the floor wore a hole. So the first one deflated. So I left it and bought another one and just laid that one on the ground underneath it. And that worked great for the whole summer. But you know how air mattresses are. You know, you just got to keep playing with them all the time to keep them firm. And yeah. So, new bed, and I'm not going to build anything. As far as right now, I don't want anything permanent in the van. I want to be able to take everything out of the van and use it for a van also. Because basically, the van is just a tent. And also my way to get my camping equipment to where I'm going. So if you picture a campsite with a tent, you don't see all the equipment in the tent. You know, they have some kind of a arrangement set up, you know, whether they're cooking on the fire. And if they're using a propane stove, it might be on the tailgate of a truck or a stump or a couple of rocks or something. You know what I'm saying? None of that stuff is built in their tent. Some of it is. I mean, big giant canvas tents, which would be awesome. But those take a little while to set up. I'm talking about weekenders. You don't want to spend all your time setting up camp either, you know. Which there's another advantage to van camping is you pull up in a spot, all you gotta do is make sure you're level, close, tolerable level. It's not like a camper or a mobile home. And then get all your stuff out and set it up, your chairs and whatever. And by the time you get everything set up, you realize how much room is in your van after you get everything out and set up. There's more room than a tent. Everything stays dry. You're better protected and no elements. And you can go places and feel a little bit more secure. Like, you know, bear country or even snakes. Or anything you can get into a tent, where a van, it's a little more difficult. So anyway, all that rambling, what I'm trying to say is it's not going to be a built camper van. You know, I'm not going to have a stove and a built-in bed. It may have a refrigerator, 12-volt refrigerator, and that's just for common sense purposes. You know, I'm going to take off for 3-4 days. I want to make sure my food lasts. And ice typically is just messy. So you set yourself up right with a 12-volt. You know, they're reasonable price now. You can get a really nice one for $200-300. A big one. You know, just do your research. Getting chillier. Oof, that wind is coming across the left side of my face, making it hard to talk. Woo! She's blowing. Another reason why I can't wait till it's 40 at night. I'll come over here before everything starts to bloom and blossom and do some slow stalking up through these oak trees. And probably see some deer. But right now, they're just having a hard enough time looking for food. And if you go walking around, stomping around, and chase them all over hell, it's just harder for them to get along and survival-wise. Whew, that was a wind gust. Wow. That's a pretty neat building, though. It looks pretty cool. I mean, typical state park. Oh, there's somebody. The car looks familiar. Almost like I know that person. Huh. Anyway, yeah. Gift shop. It might even sell food in there. Looks big enough. I don't see any roof vents, though, or grills or fryers. Wow, yeah, this is gonna be hell in the winter. I mean, hell in a windy day in the summer. Riding this is a pretty good incline for this park. This little hill section right here that we're walking down. It's a slow decline all the way around, actually, until it gets back around over there. So to come up this with the wind in your face, that'd be a pretty good workout for this part. Woo! Man, it is chilly. Kind of glad that the camera's not picking up the music in the building. There's construction people in there working, and I can hear it, and I know that the camera won't hear it because I've been closer to music before and it's not picked it up. That was louder. It's too bad about all that copyright law crap. You know, just nuts. People can make some really good mini movies and good videos if we were allowed to do whatever we wanted. I mean, I understand people got to make their money, but, you know, I understand it's a business, so I'm not complaining to the point where I think you should let us all do it. I get it, but it still sucks. Because there's days I make some pretty decent footage that would go good with some of the music that I listen to, but I just don't dare do it. Anyway, I'm just rambling today. I had to get out of the house. Oh, there's another concrete pad poured right there yet. There's still more yet to come. Got an outhouse here, which is kind of odd because I know that building's going to be plumbed because the one that was there before it was. Huh, interesting. Maybe it's for the wintertime people, but I doubt that too. Most of the state parks in this state pretty much shut right down in the wintertime. Most, if not all, you're allowed in if you can get in by foot, but hardly any of them you're going to be able to. Somebody's happy over there. But anyway, not likely are you going to be able to just drive right into them because they don't have the budget for most of the parks to plow the roads for people to come in just to go walk around in the snow. Yeah, so from basically right here all the way up and around is a steady incline until you get up around the other side of that building. So it's gonna be a fun ride. Looking forward to it. And it's always so busy. I mean, it sucked when we had to come out. Came out right there, and then we just jetted right across, right into the road. And it's always so busy here because it's where you put your canoes in and all the watercraft. Right here is where it goes on the lake. So there's always a lot of people right there. This is gonna be really good. Be able to bypass all that now. The bike trail itself, here, let me get down here a little further. But the bike trail itself continues on through them woods and goes around this lake and another lake on the other side of this, out towards the road along the main entrance, and then comes back around over to where we were back there. I'm gonna guess that this new section will probably make it just a tad over 6 miles long, because they called it 5 miles before, but it was a little bit more than that. I measured it 2 ways, hiking it and riding it, and the app that I use, well, it's called Onyx Hunt, and Onyx Backcountry. I use both of them, and my hiking and my biking was only 1/10 of a mile difference. So But anyway, it's a pretty big lake. Pretty good size, not huge. I mean, a healthy person could probably swim all the way across it, maybe even all the way around it. I don't know. I don't know what that would take, but it's a pretty shallow lake as far as a lot of flats on the shoreline. So you could just like walk right in the lake right here and walk all the way around this lake, just walking in the lake itself. And at some points, probably, like I know, like over in that area, way over the other side, on the other side of the shoreline, I know over there it's a long, flat. I mean, I can see it with my eyes, where it's brighter yellow, right at the base where the ice and the tree line meet. There's a bright yellow. I know that grass line. That's where the sandbar goes way out into the lake. So you could probably walk, 40, 50 feet out from shoreline, still only be knee deep. Oddly enough, the biggest lake in this park is the one that's up there, and the only part that's in the park is the very bottom border right here. All the lake goes miles up that way, and none of that is in the park. Just the bottom border where the park touches it. And it's all because this used to be a hunting game preserve, or I don't want to say preserve because that's not what it was. A game farm. They raised and set up the land purposely for the game, so they could have people come here and pay to hunt the game here. Everything, turkey, deer, mostly deer. That's crystal clear. I don't know if you can see the bottom of that, but I sure can. That's crystal clear. And the height of the summer, right along this shore. This is the beach for people come here, and then they can park down over there where I parked the van, and have picnic tables here along it. We're going to go over there, but I'll tell you about it on the way. There's picnic tables along the way, and you can have picnics and just hang out. Every once in a while, a bunch of kumbaya people will come along and get a bunch of guitars and blankets out, and they'll just sit on the lawn here. But you can walk all along this in the summertime. But in the really hot of the summer, like I was saying, you come here and you walk out in the water with your ultralight, and you catch panfish all day long. It's set up pretty good right here. You used to be able to pull right up onto this and park, but they don't allow that no more. Which I guess is kind of cool. Keeps the grass growing and keeps the trash to a minimal. Well, it's a nice view. The wind does blow here. I mean, you can tell. You can see the ice is already starting to stack where it gets warm days. Yeah, up here in Minnesota, the wind will come across that lake and it'll push the ice, and it'll push the ice so hard that it'll hit the shoreline and crumble up on top of itself. That's kind of cool. Here, we'll go down there. This is all from wind, and by the end of winter, all this will be up here. That's why all this is all chewed up here. It's not perfect beach, and it just really tore up all these cavities, like these big trenches right here. It's from the ice doing what it's doing right there. Just the wind pushing it and stacking it. It's kind of cool. I never heard of such a thing until I come up here. This doesn't happen on any of the places I grew up because all the lakes are small and surrounded by woods. So the wind doesn't really blow a whip across them like they do here. Look at that. Isn't that nuts? All from the wind. Just pushing it up. It's crazy. This is going to be a really good stack right here. It'll be cool. It's probably going to end up being 4 foot high once it's done. It's already got a good launch. See that buckle right there? This buckle right here. And the next one will actually fold up over top of that and collapse that and just keep rolling it over. It's really neat. You can see how far this chunk, this is solid. I mean, that's huge. That'll bust your house in half. But this is underneath that other ice, probably 3 feet. This next layer of ice is froze to this, but you can see the water line right there. See that water line? Right there. So even the sun is melting it as we speak. Look at this buckle. Holy cow. Hard to believe the wind whipped across there. Hard enough to move the ice that far. That's thick. That's 6 inches. Wow. This is cool. We've had a really crazy winter. This is soft. I mean, look at this. This is really soft. It's not froze at all. That hurt, but yeah. You can see where it's come up right to here, from there to here, and then it's recessed from freeze and thaw all the way down here. That's really neat. There's places where it'll creep across roads. They got to keep an eye on it and chip it up and plow it off. Yeah. Anyway, let's go up while we got the chance. You can see this big mound. It really pushed it up here once already. And way up here already. Yeah. It's been a really weird year. We've had a lot of 45 degree to 50 degree weather. But, oops. Getting carried away with myself here. I don't know. I gotta get my. There we go. All right. I had it all messed up there. It's a good day park if you're going to camp. It's a good weekender park. You don't want to come up here on like Memorial Day weekend or, you know, a big weekend, because you'll just, there's people everywhere. I mean, literally everywhere. So it's really hard to get around them. You want to come here and ride your bike on the bike trail, you can't really open it up. You know, you got to watch the corners. You got to slow down and really look around each corner, and so you just got to be careful. But come here during the week, middle of the day, you'll probably be here alone. Or well, depends. Summertime it stays pretty busy. But that's because there's always people here in the summer. I mean, that stay here. Well, there's the old van. There's one, oh, the person that we saw is out hiking somewhere. staying in the woods. Stay out of the wind. It's definitely cold wind today.